What actually happens if you get caught inside of a tornado? In the span of 30 seconds, a tornado can lift a fully loaded semi-truck, strip the bark off a tree, and drive a piece of straw straight through a telephone pole. Now imagine you are inside of one, not watching it from a distance, not sheltering in a basement, inside it. Today, we're breaking down exactly what your body, your senses, and your chances of survival would look like, second by second, if a tornado swallowed you whole. How high could you go? The first thing that happens is the ground disappears. Tornadoes generate extreme low-pressure cores and violent updrafts that can lift objects weighing hundreds of pounds with almost no warning. Human beings, weighing between 100 and 250 pounds, are well within the lifting range of any tornado rated EF2 or above. In documented cases, including the devastating tri-state tornado of 1925 and numerous EF4 and EF5 events, people have been carried between 100 feet and over a quarter mile in the air. One of the most remarkable verified cases involved a young girl carried nearly a mile from her home during a Missouri tornado in 2011 and found alive. At the extreme upper end, the National Weather Service has documented debris lofted to altitudes exceeding 20,000 feet in the most violent storms. For a human body, the realistic lift range in a significant tornado is between 100 and 1,500 feet before gravity and the storm's own turbulence begins working against you. How fast are you moving? Once airborne, you are no longer a person. You are a projectile. The internal wind speeds of an EF3 tornado range from 136 to 165 miles per hour. An EF5, the most violent classification, produces winds exceeding 200 miles per hour. At those speeds, you are rotating with the tornado's circulation, moving both horizontally and vertically at the same time. The rotational force alone creates a centrifugal effect that would slam your body against other debris in the funnel wall. You are not floating peacefully in an eye. There is no calm center for a human body. You are being thrown, rotated, and driven at speeds that exceed anything a human being was designed to endure in open air. Debris and projectiles. Wind speed alone may not be the primary cause of death inside a tornado. Debris is. The interior of a tornado funnel is filled with everything the storm has consumed: lumber, sheet metal, glass shards, bricks, vehicles, fence posts, and soil moving at over 100 miles per hour. At those velocities, a 2x4 becomes a spear. A roof shingle becomes a blade. Studies analyzing tornado fatalities consistently find that blunt force trauma and penetrating injuries from projectiles account for the majority of deaths. Even a small piece of gravel traveling at 150 miles per hour carries enough kinetic energy to cause fatal injury. Inside the funnel, you would be struck by multiple objects within seconds, with virtually no ability to shield yourself. Temperature inside a tornado. The interior of a tornado is not simply windy, it is meteorologically extreme. The low-pressure core causes rapid adiabatic cooling, dropping temperatures inside the funnel significantly below the surrounding air. In a tornado touching down on a warm spring day with ambient temperatures in the 70s, the interior temperature can drop to near freezing within the funnel's core. Combined with wind speeds exceeding 150 miles per hour, the wind chill effect inside a tornado would produce conditions equivalent to a dangerous winter storm, simultaneously while you are being thrown through the air and struck by debris. Hypothermia becomes a real secondary threat for anyone who survives the initial lofting. How hard is it to breathe? This is one of the least discussed but most physiologically significant aspects of tornado survival. The extreme low pressure inside the vortex, sometimes 10 to 20% lower than surrounding atmospheric pressure, creates a breathing environment unlike anything the human body encounters naturally. The air itself is also supersaturated with dust, soil, debris particles, and in some cases, insulation fibers and pulverized building materials. Breathing this mixture without protection would rapidly cause choking, disorientation, and hypoxia. Survivors of close tornado encounters frequently describe an inability to catch their breath. a roaring pressure sensation in their ears, and near-total disorientation. Effects consistent with rapid depressurization and oxygen disruption. When it finally stops, the aftermath: tornadoes do not gently set things down. As the vortex weakens or shifts, it releases what it's been carrying, dropping debris, vehicles, and human beings from whatever altitude they've reached. Falls from even 50 feet onto hard ground are frequently fatal. Survivors who have been ejected from tornadoes often describe regaining consciousness far from where they were lifted, with no clear memory of the event itself. Post-ejection injuries compound whatever was suffered inside. Broken bones, internal bleeding, lacerations, and head trauma are the most common findings in tornado survivors who were directly caught in the vortex. The surrounding scene, a debris field that can stretch for miles, adds a secondary danger of unstable structures, downed power lines, and gas leaks. The survival rate. Here is the number that matters. According to NOAA and the Storm Prediction Center, tornadoes kill an average of 70 to 100 people in the United States annually, but approximately 1,000 people are directly in the path of significant tornadoes each year and survive. The survival rate for individuals caught in the open in an EF3 or higher tornado is estimated at below 30%. For those inside a structure with any form of shelter, main tree, even a bathtub or interior hallway, survival rates climb significantly. The rare documented survivors of direct vortex entrainment, people physically lifted and carried, tend to share one factor: they were expelled relatively quickly and landed on soft terrain, such as open fields or water. A tornado is not a weather event you negotiate with. It doesn't slow down, it doesn't warn you twice, and it doesn't differentiate between a barn and a human being. The physics inside one of these storms represent some of the most hostile conditions a living body can encounter on the surface of this earth. And the data backs that up entirely. The best survival story involving a tornado is always the same one. You weren't in it.